Here it is, you guys. Yeah, guys, it's time to go. This has been an awesome car. I've had it since I was 18. Alright guys, in this video you guys see me replace a alternator in a Toyota 4runner. Very easy job. I did call some shops and the quotes were $600. I think if I recall, $600 to $700. It was $150 in labor, and then about $400 is what they were charging for an alternator. On Rock Auto you can get an alternator for $150 to $330, and you could do the labor yourself. So I hope this video helps you guys. You guys can save $450 if you get the cheaper alternator, or you guys can save about $200 if you guys get the more expensive alternator and do it yourself. You guys will see that I did have issues getting some rounded bolt heads off, and in the video you guys will see how I was able to get those off. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, share, and leave comments down below on what I could have done differently, or if this video did help you guys out. Thank you guys. Alright guys, now you guys see what it costs for a shop to change the alternator on your Toyota 4runner. Now let's go ahead and show you guys how it's done. Here is the alternator. This alternator looks a little bit different than what's on the car right now. This bolt seems a little pushed back. This guy seems thicker here. I am a little concerned that this is not the right alternator, but I don't know. I looked up the part number and it says 4runner, so hopefully it is. So it's gonna be 1 bolt, 2, 3, and this guy here that holds the harness, your positive, and your plug, which on the actual car is a little bit different. See the plug right there, and the positives right there. 1 bolt's here, and there goes that little 10mm right there. I'm going to start with removing the battery. Ground, positive. I'm gonna remove the battery, and I don't think I need to remove the battery tray, but I'm definitely gonna remove the battery to give me some space. So I don't think I need to show you guys how to remove the battery, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that real quick. Battery is removed. Battery tray comes off. Super easy. That all is. Now this is a idler pulley. There's a bolt behind the idler pulley. That's the tensioner pulley right here, which these are both 14mm. That's going to be 14. You're going to put your 14 and you're going to pull up, and when you pull up you're going to pull this belt off. Then you'll have to go back and remove this pulley because there is a bolt behind that. But yeah, super easy. I don't know how well I can get the camera in here to show you, but I will try. Alright, so I got the idler pulley off. I'm still not convinced that this is the correct alternator, but I'm going to keep, well, this one's not the correct one. This is 5 ribbed, and this looks like 6. So I have a feeling that can be an issue. I don't really feel like swapping over a pulley, but maybe I will have to. But even still, this bolt actually isn't on the new one. I got a feeling this is the wrong alternator. Yep, pretty positive this one is. All right, so this one is the incorrect alternator after all. It is supposed to be R111233A. No biggie. I will go run to O'Reilly's and get the correct one. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and finish removing this guy. So one bolt here. There should be another bolt right there. And then it is this 10 millimeter, another 10 millimeter that you cannot see, and the power and the plug. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this guy out of here as soon as possible right now and go get the correct one. Okay, 2 bolts that hold the little bracket and the harness on there, the nut from the power wire. So see, now it's all loose. There goes the plug, there goes the power wire, the metal bracket. There's a bolt here, and then there's a bolt right there. Now it should just be 2 14 millimeter, and that's it. Super easy, guys. I'm telling you, this is so easy. It is insane what places charge. So let me go ahead and get these 2 bolts off. Alright, so there does seem to be a little weird issue on this one. Should be 14 millimeter bolts. So that's what fit on the bottom, if I'm correct. Let me double check. Bottom 14 millimeter fits just fine. Up here, this bolt is a little jacked up, so I had to, looks like I'm gonna have to use a 9/16. Kind of fits a little bit better. I don't know, this may have been worked on before, but that bolt is not very healthy, it seems. So let me get my ratchet and hope that this gets it off. But it should be a 14 millimeter. For whatever reason, this bolt seems to be a little chewed up. So let's go ahead and get my right tool, and I'll get this off right now. Alright, so 9/16 wasn't doing it, so I'm going to go to my 14 millimeter wrench and pray that I can put enough force on this to get this out, because I am a little bit concerned about this. Alright guys, let's catch you guys up on what's going on. It's a couple days later. I have the correct alternator now, I'm pretty sure. Here is the correct one. 6 ribbed, 1 bolt, another one, the plug, the power wire, and then the 2 10 millimeter bolts. So over here, could not get this guy off. I had to, let me see, let me go find the old bolts. Garage is a mess, in the middle of moving. Let's grab the old bolts. I got off the other one. It was a pain. These were Loctited in. That's why they're in there so hard. So this one, you can tell I was beginning to have issues on this one. So this is getting rounded from me. This one was already jacked up, but this one was for me. I was having a hard time. So I did get 2 new bolts so I could replace these old ones. And over here, I contacted a couple friends. Well, I should say a friend specifically. He said these guys do work, so check those out. They're impact bolt and nut removers. And right now I have on there a 9/16 dash 14 millimeter. Out of this one, I bought two because I wasn't sure if Amazon was going to actually deliver one or the other, and I ended up getting both on the same day. I opened up this one, and I've already broke it loose. I had to use a breaker bar. These things were on there tight as heck. Holy smokes, they're on there so tight. But yeah, this little socket is a lifesaver because I was very close. I'm telling the owner I cannot get this done because I don't have a welder to weld a nut onto it and then remove it that way. But I don't give up. Decided to see if these guys really work, and they do. And then you could even put like a an open end on here also if you're in like a tight space. So, or thinking about it, you could put a socket on top of this as well, and it would be like a deep socket. I don't know, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. So you could use it like a deep socket. But let's get this guy out of here. This is seriously like a 30-minute to an hour job. It turned into a 2-3 day job because I was waiting on these guys. So here is, now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get those bolts out, but off of my socket. Check it out. Pretty sweet. You can see how it just kept gripping. The harder you keep going, the more it digs into the head of this bolt. So let me go ahead and try to break these guys off each other real quick. All right. Okay, there it is. I had to hammer it out of the socket, and there's the socket. Unharmed and ready to go if I need it again. So these tools, well needed. I'm glad I now have them. Before I would turn away jobs where there was a head that was rounded. Now I can go ahead and give it a shot with those. But the alternator is done. I just gotta pull this guy out. All right, let me set up the camera and get this alternator out. There is a 10 millimeter bolt right here that holds the harness together. It's like a little bracket. I'm going to remove this bracket to give me more space to get this alternator out, because this wiring harness is in the way. All right, there it is. Alternator's out. Okay, putting in the new alternator. You see this gap right here? You have to line it and slide it onto that right there in front of the camera. Right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and slide in the new alternator and try to line it up. And this was also the bracket that I removed. This bracket for this harness was right here. A 10 millimeter bolt, remove it, and it gives you the space to get the alternator in and out. The only difference with this bolt is you see how it's kind of like a stud. It kind of lines everything up a little bit better than these bolts, because these bolts are just threaded, the new ones. But regardless, it's going to get the job done. It straightened out once and the bolt got completely tight. Now I just got to put on the power wire, the plug, the belt, the idler pulley, this 10 millimeter back on, and the battery tray, and fire it up. So I'm going to go ahead and whip through all this and probably just do a quick time lapse on it. All right, that 10 millimeter is in. I couldn't record it because it's tight space. That little the back half of that bracket with 10 millimeter is probably gonna be the biggest pain to get to. For a little 10 millimeter bolt and the space there is, that took me a little bit to get in. But now let's go ahead and get on the idler pulley, and then we could get the belt on. Okay, took me a minute to get the belt on because of the space issue. You see how the ratchet's on there? Okay, that's going to be the easiest way. So with it hanging like that, you're going to pull the ratchet towards you, and with your other hand, which I use my left hand, so I crossed over with my left, I put the belt on. With the ratchet sticking out this way, you run into hitting the fan and the radiator hose. So this will give you the most leverage with the tensioner pulley. But there it is, alternator's on. I just got to get a 10 millimeter bolt for this guy. I may have dropped the original one somewhere and I can't find it, so I gotta go get a bolt for that. And the battery tray and the battery, and yeah, everything's all already done. So now I can pull this guy off. Voila, just for fun. Make sure this guy's on there nice and tight. Yeah, it won't budge. All right, so now I just gotta get a 10 millimeter bolt for this. Ended up dropping my ratchet down there and my socket. Ended up finding that bolt while getting those back out of there. So the original bolt's back in there now. Two newer bolts. Alternator, always double check, make sure you're not on the edge of the pulleys. And it looks good. Looks good. So I will finish putting on the battery. I don't think you guys need to see that, so finish that up and see if there's anything else I need to mention. Well, there it is, guys. That's how easy it is to change the alternator on a V6 Toyota 4runner. I'm sure this motor is in plenty of other Toyotas, so maybe I'll add them in the description box. But all I gotta say, guys, save money, get the tools, do it yourself, and get it done, because it is a pretty straightforward job. 30 minutes to an hour, depending if you have all the right tools to get into the tight spaces and things like that. But other than that, hope you guys appreciate the video. Like, subscribe, share to other Toyota enthusiasts that may need this video in the future. Thanks, guys.